Hello and welcome to Brewers Daily, part of the Fan Arch Podcast Network. This episode brought to you by Kalshi. Use code FANARCHBASEBALL to get $10 when you trade 10 over at Kalshi. I'm Dave Gasper. Lots to get to here on the show today. The Brewers not playing on Tuesday night as that game was rained out. We still got some news on a couple of injured players for the Brewers and also a pretty sweet alumni event coming up later on this summer. But a rain out for the Brewers. You got a whole bunch of rain going through St. Louis. So with what was coming and what was forecasted, they decided to punt the game early on, way before it even got a chance to get going. And instead, the Brewers will play a doubleheader against the Cardinals on July 7th. So they're not going to be finishing up the series here. They're going to be playing the game on Wednesday here, but it's just going to end up being 2 games. St. Louis is heading to San Diego. They're heading out west right after the game, so they did not want to make that a day-night doubleheader kind of thing. So instead, it gets punted to July, the next time that the Brewers return to St. Louis. And already a lot of people are pointing out that that is going to make it a very tough stretch for the Milwaukee Brewers, because already with the way the schedule had been working out, a lot of off days early on here for the Brewers. And then you get towards later in the summer, and there's not quite as many off days to go around. The Brewers were already going to be playing 17 straight games, so 17 games in 17 days, heading into the All-Star break. And now, with that doubleheader, it'll be 18 games in 17 days in that final stretch from June 25th through July 12th to when the All-Star game or the All-Star break begins. Brewers will get a couple days off, which will be nice, but they're probably going to be struggling there towards the end of it. And that series in St. Louis, it was already scheduled as a 4-gamer, so now it will be a 5-game series against the Cardinals prior to the All-Star break. So that certainly changes up the scheduling and how that final stretch of the first half is going to look. But just with both teams looking at it, now when it comes to doubleheaders, the home team ultimately has final say. The teams kind of like work together on scheduling it. But ultimately, I do believe it is up to the St. Louis Cardinals, and they chose to make it during that series there in July. So, kind of unfortunate for the Brewers, especially with all the off days that they've been having. It's like, okay, I mean, do you need another early on here? Instead, all these guys kind of get pushed back. Maybe for the offense, you might like to give them another day, just try and figure some things out. But still, so now everyone gets pushed back. So you're looking to the series finale here. It was going to be Jacob Misiorowski. Now Brandon Sproat, who was supposed to be pitching on Tuesday, he gets bumped now. It's Brandon Sproat, Andre Pallant on Wednesday here today, provided this game does end up happening. So Sproat gets pushed back. He will have today. And that means Jacob Misiorowski will have game 1 against the New York Yankees coming up. So that actually, it may work out a little bit better for the Brewers to have that kind of pushback, to have Miz. First of all, give him another extra, couple of days there. He still would have been good to go for Wednesday's game, provided that the Brewers had played Thursday night. Would have been good to go. But now with the off day on Thursday and him being pushed back and not starting, so now it's Wednesday, Thursday. He also has off, so that'll give him some more time to recover there from that hamstring and just make sure he's extra 100% for that game against the New York Yankees. And you're facing a pretty good Yankees lineup and a team that's playing pretty well right now. So that's how it ends up shaking out here in terms of the probable pitchers so far. We don't know the rest of them for this series quite yet, but that should be coming out fairly soon. And probably continuing the trend line, Kyle Harrison and so on. So not really expecting any sort of changes on that front necessarily. But that's what's been official at the moment. So Misiorowski will have game 1 against the Yankees. And what is also official now is that Angel Serpa is done for the season. He has chosen to undergo Tommy John surgery. This was kind of expected when he had the forearm tightness that put him on the IL, when it's reported that he's considering surgery. Generally, at that point, it just makes so much more sense to just do the surgery A lot of times you see guys who try and rehab through it first. They're still out for several months. And then a lot of times you get to the end of it and you still end up needing the surgery anyways. So it might just be best to just get it done to begin with. Save yourself a bunch of time on the back end. So Angel Zerpa, his 2026 season is done. He is slated to return sometime, early, mid next season, coming back from Tommy John. Because it's usually, 12, 13, 14 month recovery period. It takes quite a bit to come back from that. But guys have been able to do it. So it's just going to be a long time waiting here for Angel Zerpa to come back. So that's one big arm down in the Brewers bullpen. So you're going to need other guys to step up because he's not coming back for the rest of the season. So that means for your DL Halls, your Aaron Ashbys, your Grant Andersons, even your Brian Fitzpatricks, Reese McGee, all these guys got to step up now a little bit more. Excuse me. As the Brewers are down one of their big bullpen arms, one of their offseason acquisitions that they were expecting to have a big-time role. Again, struck out Ohtani looking in the WBC, looked really, really good. I don't think the WBC was a factor here, but it's still a big blow to the Brewers bullpen, and it does highlight a potential need once you get to the trade deadline, which is going to be coming up actually fairly quickly here. Because, as you get into May now, it's like, okay, pretty soon you're going to be a couple, a third of the way through the season. And once you hit June, really all the trade rumor talk is going to be starting. You're going to see teams that are going to have established themselves as buyers, as sellers, and you're getting a clearer view of what the market might look like. And bullpen is generally always a need for everybody when it comes to July. So I don't think it necessarily changes much in that sense. Not that the Brewers have been particularly great with their deadline acquisitions in the bullpen the last couple of years, but still, that is a spot to potentially be looking at when you're down one of your top arms and Angel Zerpa, and he's not going to be coming back anytime soon. It's not like he's scheduled to be coming back in late July, early August, and you can say, oh, this is one of our deadline acquisitions, one of the guys we already have. No. Not going to be that for Angel Zerpa. He is donezo for the rest of the season. So that is going to be tough. But what's not donezo is Kalshi, as they are continuing on here because baseball season is here and now, and you can trade every game on Kalshi using promo code FANARCHBASEBALL to get $10 when you trade 10. So just looking here. Look, I know we've talked a lot about, looking at these Brewer games, but also looking around the rest of this division here. We want the Cubs to lose, do we not? I think that would be nice. The Cubs have been playing some pretty winning baseball lately as they've got themselves atop the division. But they're taking on the Cincinnati Reds, so an intra-division thing here. But Cincinnati Reds currently, for today's game, are trading at 39% at a chance to win. So for a chance to beat the Cubs. So if you make a $100 trade on Cincinnati Reds, that pays out $242.50 if the Reds beat the Cubs, which is the outcome you'd like to see. Excuse me. Now, when that's the outcome you'd like to see, plus you can win $242 on it, that sounds like an absolute winner to me. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code FANARCHBASEBALL to get $10 when you trade 10. KALSHI, Kalshi, trade on anything. All right. Also here, down on the farm for the Milwaukee Brewers, Luis Pena still has not quite yet been cleared to play. He was scheduled to see a neurologist on Monday. And since then, not in the lineup on Tuesday for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, and he is scheduled to see another. He's got another follow-up appointment that he is going to be looking at. So perhaps some more concern there for Luis Pena, just because when you have that follow-up appointment there, it's like, they maybe perhaps found something or something still that they want to look further at. But yeah, he's scheduled for additional testing. That's all that we know. That information courtesy of Adam McCalvey of MLB.com. So it's very scary. It was a scary situation that he had back in April where he just collapsed in the dugout and ended up having to go to the hospital down there. And to be able to try and get himself back, still kind of on the IL. He ends up being cleared and just fine, but still to have him out this long and still having to see the specialist, see the neurologist, get more testing. I understand wanting to be safe, and that's very important, especially for something like this. But it's still a very scary situation for him. Excuse me here, pardon me. I am fighting through it with this cold. It's been going around all this weather that's been going, hot, cold, 75 degrees one day, it's 40 the next. Like, all of that is just doing an absolute number on me. So I apologize for, the sniffling and the coughing, but I am battling through it here. And I hope you are as well. Wash your hands, use soap, all that fun stuff. Because just with the weather that it's been, it is just driving me absolutely insane. I just want it to be summer and just stay summer. Like spring is great and all when it warms up a little bit, but when it gets really warm, gets really nice, and then it drops back down to being cold and having these frost advisories, no thanks. Please, can we stop that? I know I'm living in the wrong state asking for that, but still. All right. So finally here, what I want to get to, the alumni event that the Milwaukee Brewers have. So last year, we had the Alumni Home Run Derby, and it was an absolute smash hit. I mean, it was incredible, bringing all the Brewers legends back. You had Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, hitting home runs at American Family Field again, which just the nostalgia factor, incredible. Keon Broxton ended up winning because he was the most recent player, so he was kind of the most in-game shape. So he ends up winning. But the Brewers are going to be having another alumni event, and this time it is not a home run derby. It's going to be an alumni game. So kind of like the old timers games that the Yankees used to have. The Brewers are going to be having an alumni game on Friday, July 24th. So you look at that schedule, and that Friday game has been a 3:10 first pitch. When the schedule came out, and everyone's looking at it like, why in the world is there a random Friday that's going to be a 3:10 first pitch? That's not usually a national game. It's during the middle, it's during the week still. People are still going to be at work. They usually don't see 3:10, start times there on a Friday, but this is why. There's going to be an alumni game afterwards. And I mean, there's going to be, draft beer special, like $2.50 beers, which is, that's going to be absolutely insane. But you are going to have the Brewers alumni playing in this one, and it is just going to be phenomenal. So you're going to have the legends that are coming back. It is going to be Ryan Braun playing in the Legends game here. You're going to have Jeff Jenkins, for those of you in the early 2000s fandom, and even 1990s. Ben Sheets, Mike Moustakas, Giovanni Gallardo. I mean, those are among the confirmed there. So really some of your favorite players from the 2000s in the 25th anniversary of American Family Field, which is, part of the celebration here. But yeah, $2.50 draft beers until first pitch. $2.50 brats until first pitch as well. 25% discount on select items at the team store. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So the Brewers are playing the Rockies that afternoon. Then afterwards, you are going to have the Legends game, which is just going to be so cool. The Brewers did such a great job with this last year with the Home Run Derby. I cannot wait to see what it ends up looking like here with the Legends game. So just having that alumni association that they have together, keeping in touch with their former players, being able to bring them back for opportunities like this is so cool. It's so great for the fans. Nostalgia, I mean, it is such a beautiful thing that draws people in, that makes people want to watch, makes people want to stay. I'm excited to see like the rest of the rosters, who else they all have with this group. But I mean, when you got Ryan Braun, Jeff Jenkins, Ben Sheets, Mike Moustakas, Giovanni Gallardo, you don't really need to tell me much else. I'm already sold. Like, I'm already, planning on going. And also, you can buy there's a theme night ticket package as well, which would allow you to get a Legends Game bowling shirt. So if you're into bowling and you're looking for a new bowling shirt, you can get one of those with a ticket package as well. So this is just gonna be an absolute banger. I'm excited for this. I think the Brewers might be doing this every single year, doing some sort of alumni event throughout the summer. Last year, the Home Run Derby, again, smash hit. Legends Game, we'll see. I mean, it'll probably be a smash hit, but I'm very much excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and also, hopefully, the Brewers are beating the Rockies that afternoon as well, which would be nice. So, Brewers playing today against the St. Louis Cardinals, finishing up that series. Ends up just being a 2-gamer, but Brandon Sproat on the mound, and it should be a good one. The Brewers hopefully trying to get themselves back on track here before they return home to take on the New York Yankees to kick off this next homestand. So, we'll continue to have great content, covering this game and that series. So be sure to subscribe to Brewers Daily, get notified every single time a new episode drops. Follow me on Twitter at dgasper24, and we'll see you again next time for another episode of Brewers Daily.